Gonna bow in. So cherry up, hands and feet together, make sure your fingers are together, your toes are together, and bow, kunye. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into our sparring stance. This is gonna be a pretty relaxed stance. We're gonna have our hands up, but they'll kind of go down. They're just gonna be what's called floating, or what I call floating. They just kind of stay up and around, they're loose. Your body's gonna be loose. So we're gonna be bouncing just like this. You might have a little bit of a forward bounce, an up-down bounce. Try not to do the same thing over and over. So you can go up and down, but I don't want you just going back and forth, because your opponent is going to be able to read it, and they're going to be like, okay, you're on the front leg, well, then you can only really throw the back leg, or your back weight's on your back leg, you can only really throw the front leg. So they start to read that. So we're just going to be bouncing at first, getting warmed up, and I'm going to call out a little bit of footwork. So the main footwork that I'm going to call out is going to be switching, or I'll say step forward. When you step, I want your chest to face one way and then face the whole other direction. And then we'll have skipping. So we'll have skip forward, your back foot comes up to your front, or skip back, your back foot or your front foot goes to your back. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to step forward and then skip. I want you to just skip right where you're at. One foot basically kicks the other one out of the way. So let's bounce. Here, you can start to stagger up whatever you're doing when you're idle, and switch. Switch. Step forward. Step back. Switch. Skip forward. Skip back. Switch. Step forward. Skip back. Switch. Skip forward. Skip back. Switch, 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 switch. Step forward. Make sure you rotate your chest the whole way. Step back. Skip forward. Skip back. Whenever I say these, I want you to try to react really fast whenever you're doing it. Instead of just kind of a, here, I want you to move fast. Step back. Switch. Step forward. Step back. Skip forward. Skip back. All right, take a breath in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do some jumping jacks. Ready? Go. Now from here, I want you to stick your hands on your hips. Keep going like this. And now I want you to cross your legs. Once to the front and then to the back. So we're going to do some leg crosses just like this. All right, now hands on your hips, and just want you to circle your head. Nice and slow. Try to get that full range of motion. Take a few deep breaths in, relax, and rotate to the other direction now. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to do trunk twists. So as we do these, it's not just going to be a normal trunk twist like this. We're going to rotate, and I'm going to drop onto one side. So if I'm rotating towards my right, I'm going to drop on this side, and I'm going to try to stretch my hip as well as my trunk when I turn all the way. Then I'm going to go to the other side, and I'm going to turn. I'm dropping down, trying to stretch my hip a little bit as I rotate, and try to look behind you when you do this. So go one side, other side. Take a few deep breaths in. Now, hands on your hips, and we're going to do hip circles. So just go one way at first, and I'm going to tell you when to switch. And switch directions. Try and make big circles with your hips. hands on your knees, put your feet together, and circle your knees. And then other direction. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to do socket stretch. So we're going to be trying to stretch the inside of our leg on our back leg. I'm going to point my toes that direction. Back toes are going to be facing towards the outside. I'm going to stretch the inside of my groin on my back leg. I can either do this with a bounce, or you can do it with a static hold. Either way, I usually like to do these with bounces when I'm warming up, and if it's towards the end, then I'll do it with a static hold. Again, still taking some deep breaths in. And now we're going to switch and do the same thing to the other side. So we're stretching right in here, our adductor muscles. Now, rotate your back foot. So now we're going to be stretching our hip flexor muscles, the muscles that are right here on top. And we're going to, you can drop your hand down if you'd like, or you can lean back, however you'd like to do it. Make sure you're stretching right here on the top of your leg. If you feel your balance is going, go ahead and drop your hand down and just push your hip towards the ground. If you want to do that with a bounce, that's fine. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to drop down on one leg. We're going to reach for our toes, or if you can't do that, it's fine. We're going to try to bring our chest towards our knee, and we're going to stretch our hamstrings, so right on the bottom of our leg. Again, you can bounce if you'd like, but you don't have to. And switch sides, same thing. Keep taking a few deep breaths in. The reason why you want to take those deep breaths in, it's going to help you relax, help you get a little bit more of a stretch. And you're going to want that for this next one. So the next one we're going to do, we're going to push forward and go right into a side splits. Whichever side you want. I found lately for me, I can go further if I start off by going to the sides rather than starting off by going to the middle. You might be different. That's going to be up to you. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to rotate towards the other side. I know, nobody likes to do the splits. This is the hardest one, but just try it as much as you can. Even if you're only here, as long as you're feeling some stretch, that's good. You don't have to be pushing to the point where you're in so much pain that you're like, I give up, I'm not going to do the rest of the class. Don't go there, just a little bit towards the front. All right, now let's stand up. Now we're going to do hip twists. So we're going to rotate our hip, kind of like what we were doing with our trunk twist. We're going to rotate our hip, try to point our belt, the knot of our belt, to one side. Then we're going to rotate and try to put it onto the other side. Should get a nice stretch right here on the inside of the groin. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into a nice relaxed sparring stance. We're going to do our axe kick, but we're going to do it more of a stretch kick rather than an axe kick. So instead of me lifting up and pressing down hard as if I'm actually trying to hit something, I'm just going to try to raise it all the way up to my chest to help get a nice stretch in our hamstrings. When you're doing this, I want you to look up. So if you have your TV or whatever you're looking at, I want you to try to look more up. That way your chin stays up. I don't want you to drop your head down as you do this. So we're here, axe kick, try to bring it all the way up, and then just let it kind of fall down. Don't force it down where you're contracting your hamstring muscles. If you want to do this while moving, you can. Or if you want to do this where you kick and then step back and stay in place. I don't know how much space you have. You might not have as much as me though, so you might have to do it like this. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be alternating legs with this, and I'm going to be counting. Ready? 하나, 둘, 셋. Relax your upper body. Don't worry about it too much right now. 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열, 열하나, 열둘, 열셋. Keep your head up. 열넷, 열다섯, 열여섯, 열일곱, 열여덟, 열아홉, 스물. Take a breath in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time, in and out. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do our low block. So we're going to start off just like this. I'm going to set one hand on top, and I'm going to count. So this is going to be hana, and then I'm going to bring this hand down in front. My elbow is going to be bent. I'm going to be blocking with the outside forearm bone, so my palm will be facing down. My other hand is going to go right here towards my belt. I'm trying to feel my iliac bone through my belt. So here, hana, palm facing towards me. 둘, 하나, 둘, 하나, 둘, 하나, 둘. Now I'm going to put the other hand on top. Set, net, set, net, set, net, set, net. First hand on top, 하나, 둘. Other hand on top, set, net, 하나, 둘, set, net, 하나. Notice how I twist at the bottom, 둘, set, net. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of a hip into that. So I'm going to set up, 하나. Now watch the knot of my belt is going to go that direction, 하나, and then it's going to go back, 둘, set, it goes the other direction, net, 하나, 둘, set, net, 하나, 둘, set, net, 하나, 둘, set, net, 하나, 둘, set, net. Now we're going to take out the 2 count and we're going to make it a 1 count. So I'm going to set up and block all on 1 count. Ready? 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. Have that twist at that last second. 아홉, 열, 열하나, 열둘, 열셋, 열넷, 열다섯, 열여섯, 열일곱, 열여덟, 열아홉, 스물. All right, so that was our low block. Now we're going to move on and we're going to do our front snap kick. So our front snap kick, today we're going to be doing it with the ball of the foot. So I want you to try right now to pull your toes back just like this. Instead of pointing them here, pull them back. So that's how we're going to be trying to do this. First step of this though is just going to be a knee. So it's going to be a knee strike. If your opponent closes in and you knee strike, you weren't able to fully extend the kick out because there's not enough space, that's fine. Hit them with the knee first. So what we're going to do, we're going to keep our hands up. We're going to try not to throw them back, but we're also not going to stay rigid. I'm not going to do this, where I'm flexing my upper body. I'm going to be doing what I call floating, where my hands are up, they're moving, and boom, knee strike. So again, you can do this moving if you have space. You can bring the knee up, and then I want you to thrust your hips forward, and then bring it back and set it down. bring the knee up, thrust the hip forward, bring the hip back, and set it down, just like this. You ready? 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. So, if you notice when I'm doing this, I'm breathing out every time. I want you to breathe out anytime you exert energy. So whether that's a kick, a block, whatever you're doing. I see a lot of people, they'll do their kick and then they'll hold their breath and then they breathe out. And then after a few, they're going to be like exhausted. So I want you to breathe out anytime you exert energy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the snap part of the kick. So I'm going to bring my knee up. I'm going to push my hips forward. Again, I'm pulling back my toes. Push my hips forward, bring them back as I retract and set down. If I'm moving with this, I bring up, kick out, retract, down. Up, retract, or extend, retract, down. Up, extend, retract, down. Again, I'm pushing my hips forward so I get a little bit more forward momentum to be able to hit that target. Ready? We're going to be alternating legs each time. If you have space to move, you can move forward. If you don't, you can kick, drop it down, step back so that you're going to be staying in the same place. You might see me do a little bit of both of those. Ready? Up, extend, back, down. 둘, up, extend, back, down. Set, up, extend, back, down. 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열, 열하나, 열둘, 열셋, 열넷, 열다섯, 열여섯, 열일곱, 열여덟, 열아홉, 스물. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. All right. Next thing we're going to do, so we did low block. Now we're going to raise it up a step. We're going to do middle block. So we're going to do our inside middle block. It's going to look just like this. I'm going to extend one arm out, and I'm going to bring the other one kind of like, some people say kind of like answering the phone, except for I have my elbow extend far out. I'm not going to have it here, like when I'm just answering the phone. This one's out. This one's going to be extended out in front. There are some styles where they have it bent. Even within the World Taekwondo Federation, they'll have this bent, and that's okay if that's how you're used to doing it. How I was taught it was with the extended arm out in front. This one's back. We're going to rotate at that last second, twist, as this one touches my belt, just like for the low block. It feels my hip bone through my belt. So we're going to set up. This is going to be hana, 둘. Now if you look at the side, I'm trying to keep the back of my wrist straight, so I don't want to be bending it in like this. I don't want too extended, and I don't want too retracted. I want a little bit over 90 degrees at my elbow. 하나, 둘. 하나, 둘. My knuckles are about at my shoulder level. 하나, 둘. 하나, 둘. 하나, 둘. 하나, 둘. Now we're going to extend that hand out in front, raise the other hand up. This is set, net, set, net, set, net, set, net. If you're wearing your dobok, try to make it pop. Set, net, set, net. Hana, do. Extend the arm out, raise the other one up. Set, net. Hana, do. Set, net. Hana, do. Set, net. A little bit faster. Hana, do. Set, net. Hana, do. Set, net. All right, so I've already started doing this a little bit, but I want to really kind of emphasize it now. I'm going to turn my hips. Notice if my right hand or this hand that's in the back, I'm going to point my belt towards the direction of the hand that's in the back. So I'm going to step up here. My belt is faced about 45 degrees off from the way my hand is, and I'm going to block. Other way. So I'm trying to use my hips to generate more power. So, hana, do. Set, net. Hana, do. You notice I'm even popping up off that heel. Set, net. Hana, do. Set, net. Hana, do. Set, net. Have that twisting power right there at that last second. Now we're going to do it from 2 counts to 1 count. So I'm going to set up and block on 1 count. Ready? Hana, do. Set, net. Dasu. Yasu. Good. Yero. Aho. Yoi. Yohana. You'll do. You'll set. You'll net. You'll dasot. You'll yasot. You'll good. You'll yero. You'll aho. Smooth. All right, take a breath in and out. We're trying to use power anytime we do those blocks, so we do have a lot of twist, and then the body kind of does a little shake. I'm using my hips, but then I'm stopping at a specific spot. When I do this, I don't want to block like that. I want to stop at my specific designated spot. All right, so now we're going to move on, and we're going to do our roundhouse kick, or our turning kick, or dolyochagi, whatever you want to call this. Some people just call it a round kick. It's all pretty much the same thing. So we're going to start off kind of how we did our front kick. We're just going to use the knee first. So we're going to do our half roundhouse kick. There's a few different ways you can do this. You can come up with the knee first and then pivot the hip. That's a little bit more complicated. If you want, you can just come around. The big key that I want you to do, though, is I want your head, your hip, and your knee all in one straight line. You see how if you're looking directly at me, all of this looks like it's in one straight line? I don't want you doing this. This is what I call the L shape. It's making an L right here at the hip with your knee, your hip, and your head is creating this L shape. Usually that's going to happen based off a lack of pivoting on your bottom foot. We want to pivot on the ball of the foot, so when you see me do this, I'm going to raise up my heel as I pivot. Do not pivot on your heel. Some of the things that can happen if you pivot on your heel is your toes could get caught and it's going to end up twisting your knee, and it's possible to tear ligaments. Or if your balance starts to go, usually if our balance starts to go, we pop down on our heel to be able to catch ourselves. But if you keep going past your heel, there's really nothing to catch yourself other than your other foot or falling down. So we don't want to do that. You don't want either one of those, especially the first one. You don't want to tear ligaments. It's not fun. I've done it. Do not recommend it. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to pivot, and then we're going to set it back down in front, and we're going to pivot with the other one. So we're not working on our reverse pivot yet. A reverse pivot is when we're here, and then we bring it back. We're just working on our forward pivot. Ready? Hana. Here. Head, hip, knee, all in one straight line. Set it down. Three. Set. Net. 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 일곱, 아홉, 열. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to extend out our leg. We rotate, we extend out our leg, then we're going to retract our leg and set it down in front and do the same thing. Again, if you have space, you can practice moving forward. If you don't have space, you can be doing what I'm doing and just kick here, set it down, step back. So now the only thing we're going to add onto it is extend the leg, retract the leg, and we're going to still set it right back down in front for this one. Ready? 하나, 둘. You don't have to do it this slow. You can just kick it right out if you'd like. Set. 넷. 다섯. 여섯, 일곱, 일곱, 아홉, 열, 열하나. Pick up the speed just a little bit with the snap. 열둘, 열셋, 열넷, 열다섯, 열여섯, 열일곱, 열일곱, 열아홉, 스물. Now we're going to add another step into that. So we're going to add our reverse pivot. So what that is, we're going to rotate, extend, bring it back, and then reverse rotate. Now I brought it all the way back to the rear without setting that foot down in front. So I didn't set it down here and then step back. Turn, kick. Make sure that we're still pivoting on the ball of the foot. The ball of the foot, this part of the foot, not the heel. We don't want to pivot on our heel. So now we're going to do 10 on just one side. So we're not going to switch legs. This time we're going to kick the full roundhouse kick, and we're going to bring it all the way back behind us. Again, making sure that we're not creating this L shape here. A lot of times people lean to the side, and that's what creates the L shape. We're going to lean a little bit back, and when you fully extend, head, hip, knee, or foot should all be in one straight line. Retract back. Ready? 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 일곱, 아홉, 열. Now we're going to switch legs, and we're going to do the same thing. So a full roundhouse kick, and then bring it all the way back behind us. Ready? 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱. Make sure you're breathing every time you exert energy. 일곱, 아홉, 열. Take a breath in and out. Breathe in and out. For this next one, I'm going to raise up just a little bit so that you can see my high block. So we're going to go over our high block now. So I'm going to put one hand across my belly, right across my belt. My palm is facing up. I'm going to make a fist. My other hand is going to be straight up and down, just like this. The hand that's blocking is going to be on the outside. I'm going to raise it up And now at this last second, I'm going to twist and open it. So this bone right here, if you see how I have my palms facing out, this bone right here on the outside, it's called your ulna. We're going to be blocking with our ulna. Now, one thing I want you to make sure that you're doing, as you do this, all right, I think I'm good again. I think my internet might have just cut out. Let me check real fast. All right, I think it's working again. Sorry, again, I've never done a YouTube Live before, so if I have technical difficulties, I'm not quite sure what to do. Again, I've never done a YouTube Live. I have it playing on my TV over here to see if I actually have audio, so my bad. All right, so what we're doing is we're doing our high block. So start off with one hand across, other hand up, just like this. Make both of them into fists. We're going to raise it up. We're going to be blocking with our ulna, which means it's going to be pointed out. I want your ear, your far side ear. So if I'm blocking with my right hand, I want my left ear to be in line with my wrist, and I want my bone to be angled. I don't want it flat like this, and I don't want it over the head. So if something was coming down here, I want it out in front of me. See how it's extended out in front? If you look directly at me, you could see that it's covering the top of my head. It's not way up here. It's out here, slight angle. Ulna is facing outwards. Wrist is in line with my opposite ear. So we're going to start here. This is going to be hana, palm facing up. Do. Hana. Do. Hana. Do. Palm facing out. Hana. Do. Hand, other hand is right here. Hana. Do. Hana. Do. Hana. Do. Now we're going to bring our other hand across as this one drops down. Palm facing up. Set. Net. Set. Net. Set. Net. Set. Net. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Now we're going to add that hip motion that I've been talking about for the other blocks. So as I set up, I'm going to, for this one, I'm going to twist my hip slightly and drop slightly down. So notice my belt is facing forward right now. I'm going to twist slightly, drop my knees, not leaning over either side. Boom, my belt faces off to the side as I set up, and then I come back. Other side, and block. Ready? Hana, do. Set, net. 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 Now we're going to go from 2 counts to 1 count. So I'm going to set up and block all in 1 count. Ready? Hana, do. Set, net. Dasol. Yasol. Good. Hero. Aho. Yuri. Yohana. You'll do. You'll set. You'll net. You'll dasol. You'll yasol. You'll good. You'll hero. Yaho. Smooth. Take a breath in and out. I'm going to drop this back down a little bit. Let's see, fix that a little if I can. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to cover our side kick. So our side kick is usually by beginners kind of, they usually do a roundhouse kick that ends looking like a side kick. So I'm going to show you the difference first. I'm going to stand completely sideways and we're going to raise our knee up. So I'm creating this L shape here. Notice how if I put my hand in a line right here. I even have tape right here. I'm not sure how well you can see that. But if I put my hand in a line, this is what I'm calling my sideline. I want my heel to be on or in front of my sideline. If my heel starts behind my sideline as I extend out, that's going to be a roundhouse kick. So that would be coming that direction. So a side kick is like a stomp, like this. So I want you to go ahead and do this real fast. Don't stomp the ground if you have a hard surface. I have mats, so I can stomp the ground. Don't stomp the ground if you're on a hard surface, please. Raise the knee up and then push down. Raise the knee up, push down. So when I'm extending, I'm using my glutes and I'm using my quads to really be able to extend and get a lot of power. Compared to if I brought the heel back behind the sideline here, I'm using majority of my quads, and then I'm probably going to use a little bit of a hip flexor as I'm moving this. So again, up, down. Raise it up, down, up, down. A few more times, up, down. One more time, up and down. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to stay facing this way. I have my arm out here just indicating my sideline. I'm going to raise up, and now I'm going to point my heel outwards. Now instead of it being down and stomping the ground, I'm going to kick low at this time, and I'm going to push out this way. So it ends with my head, hip, and knee all in one straight line. I'm going to bring my knee back, making that L shape here, and set it down. So we're going to do this a few times. Up, point the foot outwards, extend, retract, down, up, point out. You might have to rotate your bottom foot, and that's fine, you should. Extend out, bring back, down. Up, out, extend, retract, down. Up, out, extend, retract, down. So you notice how it didn't come up behind the sideline and extend out like this. The way I like to tell people about this, it's like a punch. When you see somebody do a punch, say a jab for instance, if you're looking at me do this jab, notice how my fist looks like it's moving in a completely straight line. This would be like a side kick. This would be like a side kick that comes like a roundhouse kick. You see how they end? They start and they end in the same position, but they're not the same thing. They're not getting there the same way. So if somebody was to come in while I'm doing a side kick that is like a roundhouse kick, if they're not at the proper distance, I'm not going to be able to hurt them. I'm not going to be able to put any power into it. Compared to if they're coming in when I have my side kick here, I might not be able to get that full power, but I'm going to at least be able to touch them and be able to push them away or push myself away, depending on the scenario. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch sides. We're going to do the same thing. So we're just going to start off first with the knee up and down. Again, I have my arm out indicating my sideline. I want my hip, or not my hip, my knee to be in front. And I want my heel to be in front of that sideline. Here, here, up, down. It's just like I'm stomping the ground. And I'm using my heel when I do this. I'm not using the ball of my foot. Some people use the blade of their foot for their side kicks, and I don't like that if you're making contact with somebody. It looks really nice during forms, but it's not going to be very good if you're actually hitting somebody and you have the chance of rolling your ankle on making contact. So use your heel if you want maximum power. Bring the knee up and down. Up, down. Bring it up and down. Bring it up and down. Raise up and down. Now we're going to move on slightly. I'm going to bring up, I'm going to point out, extend, back, and down. Again, I'm still having this arm out here indicating my sideline and that my heel is in front or on the sideline, but never behind. That's going to make it a roundhouse kick that ends looking like a side kick. Bring it up, point out slightly, extend out, back, and down. Up, out, extend, retract, and down. Up, out, extend, retract, and down. This might feel a little weird if your back foot isn't pivoted, when we're actually doing our side kick, we're going to really try to pivot our back foot or our base leg. Right now, that's why I'm kicking a lot lower, because it's not allowing me, based off how my hips are, to do a high side kick at this point. Out, boom, bring it up, out, back, down, and one more, up, out, back, down. So now we're going to work on the pivot. We're going to do the side kick, and we're going to work on the pivot. So we're going to pivot. Notice how my knee is creating this L shape. My heel is in front of the sideline. I extend out. I retract back the same way, and I come all the way back. If this is your first time doing Taekwondo, this might be very difficult for you. If you've been doing Taekwondo for a while, this might be no problem for you. I just want you to kind of understand the concept and try to work with it. I might go a little fast, I might go a little slow, depending on your skill level. So, rotate, heel is in front, extend out, bring back, and down. And I'm going to start counting now. Hana. This is probably a lot easier if you go faster, just saying. Doi. Set. Net. Dasan. Yasan. Good. Iro. Aho. Good. As you start training more, you're going to start kind of not cutting corners, but you're going to start making those movements smaller. Right now I'm making them really big to illustrate my point. You're going to start making them smaller, quicker, and you're going to have a little hip twist at the end. Don't worry about that for today though. Other side, same thing. Hana. Extend out, bring back, and down. Doi. Set. Net. Yasan. Yasan. Good. Yero. Aho. Yay. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. One more time, in and breathe out. All right, so we're going to end with a quick conditioning exercise. We're going to do 3 sets of 15 of squats. So when we're doing our squats, we're going to make sure that we're loading in our heels. So as we drop down, I want to make sure my knees don't collapse in. My chest is mostly up. If I had something right here, you'd be able to read it. And I'm going to put my weight into my heels as I'm coming down. I should be able to raise my toes up off the ground and extend up. All right? So we're going to drop down and come up. Just like that. What did I say, 3 sets of 15? So, get ready. Hands in front of you for your counterbalance. And go. Hana. 3. Set. Net. Yasan. Yasan. Good. Yero. Aho. Yay. Hana. Doi. You set. You net. You'll deso. And shake your legs out some. Finish up if you're not done already. Next set. You ready? Hana. Doi. Set. Net. Dasan. Yasan. Good. Yero. Aho. Yay. Hana. Doi. You set. You net. You dasan. Other side. Same thing. Ready? 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열, 열하나, 열둘, 열셋, 열넷, 열다섯. I know I didn't give very much time in between those, but I think you got it. Should be no problem, right? Breathe in and out. Now we're going to cool down a little bit. So we're going to balance. We're going to stretch our quads, just like this. Bring your heel to your butt. If you're not feeling much of a stretch like this, I want you to push your hip forward, pull your knee back, and then it's going to create a bigger gap here, and then pull the heel in. Now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Here, if you're not feeling it like this, push back with your leg, push forward with your hip, and then pull it in. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to drop down, put one foot in front, other foot, the inside of the foot pointed right at your knee, and reach forward to stretch your hamstrings. Now we're going to switch sides, do the same thing. Stretch those hamstrings. If you can reach all the way to your toes and you want a calf stretch more than a hamstring stretch, the way you're going to do that is by putting the palm heel right here, bending your toes back, and then pulling back. And that'll stretch your calves if you want a calf stretch over a hamstring stretch. Now what we're going to do, we're going to open up our legs. We're going to do seated splits. So open up as far as you can. You don't have to pop up yet. And just reach forward, just like this. And try to relax. Now, while you're reaching forward like this, I want you to walk your hands off to one side. Walk your hands back to the center. And walk to the other side. Now, bring your feet together and flap the wings of the butterfly. We're going to stand up. Fix your uniform, if you're wearing one. Face me, chair up, hands attention, bow, kunye. And great job on the class, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I really hope there was no technical difficulties and I was just doing this class for myself with nobody watching. But I think it's still going. It says live, 15 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and tune in next time. Have a good one. Now I got to figure out how to end this. Yes.